My name is Gbolagade Adebisi. I'm a pharmacist. I joined the Lions Club in 1999. The first day I attended the Lions Club meeting, it was a club being formed. So I was elected president. They call it the charter president. So I was elected the charter president of Lagos Akwanjo Lions Club sometimes in June of 1999. I've risen through the ranks about the fairly rapid rise in the system. I became a zone chair the following year. A year or so after, I became a region chair. And I became district governor in 2014. Incidentally, because the incumbent died suddenly while in the post. So they had to elect another person, and I was elected to serve his term. I became the council chairman, that's the head of organization in Nigeria, in 2017-2018. July of last year, I became the GAT area leader for what they call CA8B, that's for Nigeria and Ghana. That's the position I presently occupy, and what they call the Global Action Team area leader. I'm in charge of membership, leadership, and service for Nigeria and Ghana. I just told you I'm a pharmacist. I run my own business. I'm an entrepreneur. Well, the truth about matter is the fact that nobody can be beyond this environment. You can't live outside your environment. So environment shapes what you do, what you become in the main. I was born to a middle-class family. I went to college in Nigeria. I had my education in Nigeria. And selling is what thing I do apart from pharmacy. I'm a trained salesman. And in all these things, I also find myself, I'm a bit versatile. So when I went into construction, it was just to say, look, is that we can do it. Over the years, then you see that the society in which we live in is an unequal society. Some people have a lot, some don't have so much. So the tendency is that if you as a person, you have what you can call a sensitive social conscience. You want to help those who are not so lucky. Some people are just born lucky. If you are born, your father and mother are billionaires, what do you want to worry yourself? Or that your last daughter, for instance, what does she want to worry herself? So but growing up as I did, where I've been at a construction site where a guy doing the labor work actually said he had an HND. He came to Lagos here to do it, and he couldn't be sealing. So with his HND, he was doing casual labor when we were constructing a drainage somewhere in Shomolu. So that exposure affects the way you see life and gives you that feeling of helping the less privileged. Well, it's easy in the early stages. When you join a Lions Club, you are not really holding any position. Maybe you are just serving on committees. You does not disturb your business. But by the time you start holding position, you are a club president, you are a zone chairperson, a region chairperson. When you are district governor, that year you are not running a business. It's as straightforward as that. The year you are district governor, you are practically not running your own business. So somebody must run it. I've been lucky in certain areas. My wife has always been part of my business. Then I have a business partner who is my classmate in the college, my roommate in the university. We own the business together. So that has helped me. But then, the essence is delegation. You have to be able to delegate, get people to do things. Anything nobody can do, you do. Anything other people can do, you let them do. But by and large, like I said, it takes time, it takes a lot of your time when you are holding positions. Becoming second vice district governor, first vice district governor, you are assisting somebody. But when you are the person on the seat, whether something succeeds or fails, it's up to you. It's in your hands. So but you have to really find, but there are times that practically, these days, because of the position I hold, I spend a lot of time on Lions. But because my partner is in the office, it makes up for when I'm not there. This morning, most of the things I've done today, I've been on Lions. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to Calabar, it's Lions. I'm going back on Friday. So by and large, like, yes, I seem to strike a balance. But I've been lucky, I have a partner, I have a wife that's part of the business, and also I'm also able to delegate. That's what I accept. It's also very interesting. It's also interesting that you have to bear something in mind, that where you will get to, you will get there. Where you are destined to reach, if you don't reach the place, night will not fall. Believe me. Because succeeding in Yinka Bolarinwa was never on the cards. He was much younger than myself. I was qualified for the position. I didn't contest for it. He offered to fund me if I wanted, and I said no. I told him to go ahead, I would support him. We were members of the same Lions Club. You understand my point? So we were quite close. He also joined another club to which I belong, which is not a Lions Club. So we were quite close. His death was sudden. As part of the background, there was a morning I was in my bedroom. I'm a Muslim. I just finished my morning prayers. Then I got a phone call from a Lions Club member who said Yinka had died by that time. We were preparing to bury him. He asked me should I be participating in his burial since I'm older than him. I told him that what was wrong, that this man was my friend. Any efforts I could make to give him a befitting departure is good. Only that I will not go to the cemetery because it's against Yoruba culture for you to go and see the burial of a younger person. You understand my point? That what I'm doing, I now asked me, did I know there would be an election to replace me? I said no, that I didn't know. That in the past when that kind of thing happened, the first vice governor would usually step into his shoes. And he said no, that they've changed the rules. That since the man didn't spend 6 months plus 1 day, they're going to have a special delegates meeting. They will elect somebody to serve his tenure. And I said, I didn't know, and I didn't care. I told him I didn't care. But then I started getting calls. There were some leaders who spoke with me, saying that yes, from the same club, he gave me very important key appointments of people he could trust. He gave me positions that you could only be given to somebody that you trust. He made me the vice chairman of bifurcation. By that time, we were redistricting. He made me the chairman of award ceremony, and he made me the vice chairman of 2040 years of Lionism in Nigeria, 20-something or something. You know, I had 3 important positions in his cabinet, which were really made as somebody you trust. So the pre-oxide building up, and then we had the special delegates meeting at this place in Shangisha, this management something school. There was a special delegates meeting on that day. I was nominated. There was no other person that contested with me. I was unanimously elected. It was challenging in the sense that here was I. You know, to become a district governor, you need 2 years preparation. You need to be elected. The election is actually for the second vice district governor. The following year, you move to become first vice district governor. The following year, you now become district governor. In between, there's a lot of training. They go to the US for special training. There's a place called the Concert Chance in Chicago. They are trained for like 3-4 days there. They call them the DG Elect School. I didn't do all that. And suddenly, I was tossed in. But let's all bear in mind that having risen through the ranks, I've received a certain measure of training too. So I wasn't really just a neophyte like that, you know. So by and large, we got there. The first thing to do inside the place is that I didn't rock the boat. I didn't make any fresh appointment. I allowed the system to run. But the system was running. Only one person was taken out. There was a DG team. There was a cabinet secretary, cabinet treasurer, chief of protocol. All the other people were in place. I just slotted in and started working with them. And it worked quite fine. There were meetings every Thursday, core cabinet. We didn't change anything. We were actually meeting in his own hotel. So by and large, the transition was relatively smooth. And the key issue is that everything is started, we completed. So by and large, that much I could say about that. Well, the fact that, like I mentioned earlier, his departure created a big gap. Yinka was a different animal. It was larger than life. We have two different personalities. He was an extrovert to a fault. He was also very kind and very generous. So to match what he had done was not that easy. But I have to be my own person. The good thing was that I believe, like he did, I believe in the team spirit. So we kept the team together. And one thing I did extra was that I consulted the leadership, the past leaders. I was never far away from them. I called the town meeting where leaders were sat down, gave their opinions. I saw their support, and they gave me the support. The good thing was that by the time he died, we were preparing for bifurcation. I was vice chairman of that committee. I saw that bifurcation through. We divided from 44B to B1 and B2. That was done successfully. Then we didn't lose any of our clubs. All clubs remained in good standing during my tenure. We held all the remaining cabinet meetings. We held a district convention in Ilorin. So one thing I could say I did was to move from one district to two heavy districts. We installed two brand new district governors who succeeded my tenure. They called us Baba Beji because we actually gave birth to two districts, 44B, B1 and B2. My own district happened to be B1, so naturally I continued, but I was no longer district governor. By and large, there were challenges, we overcame them, but then it was not so bad because Yinka had done a lot of good work. The challenges we could manage, we could manage little problems here and there, but the key element was consultation and teamwork, so we succeeded in meeting the goals that have been set. By the person who was in the office before. Nothing more than that. No. I don't even know who's calling, so it's not important. Certainly, definitely we did. Because he focused on growth. By the time he died, he was an award-winning district governor. He was best district governor in the world. At the Summit Forum in Kathmandu, he was acknowledged and recognized, stood on the podium as the best district governor in the world. He was number one because he practically doubled the number of lions in his district to enable us bifurcate. The background is the fact that we in 44B, we were the slow one. 44A had done their bifurcation. They had divided. They had grown faster. But then this guy came and said, I'm going to achieve this. The only other thing that, with benefit of hindsight, that was not done, he wanted to have a district secretariat. We didn't have it because work had not really started on it. And interestingly enough, when I became council chair, I pursued that something we are still not there. But 44B1 now has a secretariat in the house that is for which he bought the land of our clubhouse. We call it Yinka Bolarinwa house, even till today. But we all worked on it. But he bought the land when he became president of our club. But that's the story for another time. He had some common sayings. There are some peculiar phrases that at Yinka zone, that were Yinka zone. First, he will say be proactive. I think because he had this very fast brain. You know, his first degree was in mathematics. Me, I'm a pharmacist. You will see that when you look at the two people who entered those professions, they have different aptitudes. He was a fast thinker. I'm a bit slow, but I can be very deep. You know, you find in personalities to see these different type of people. Yinka was a very sharp guy. If you have a discussion with him this evening, check with him early tomorrow morning that it has not changed. It could have changed, and you could have moved on. You have to really move to catch on. So one thing that it was always very strategic. Like, that's a good word. It was always very strategic. It was proactive. One. Then he was very humble. His word was that there's no straight curve. That the fact that two of us start the same thing doesn't mean we are going to end at the same level. He became MD when people started with him as marketing managers. Not just MD, like the MD of a publicly quoted insurance company. So he really was a very fast guy. But it was, even with that high achievement, he was humble. Till he died, he would call me Ogami. That's why, because he knew that when he was going to become president of our club, I could say yes or no. But I said yes. And that affected our relationship till he died. We had a lot of trust in each other. So by and large, like you asked, he was very strategic, he was always proactive, and he believed in teamwork. That's a tough one. Tough one in the sense that the person that I later realized was my role model, I died before I realized it. He was my immediate boss at work. We were born the same year, but he did everything 2 years ahead of me. The late Dr. Yomi Oduwole. He was one person that, when he did that, I miss him the way his children would miss him. He was my boss. We stopped working in the same place. We now became businessmen. He was my consulting person. I was okay, Yomi, we were on first name terms. But it took a long time for me to realize that he was my mentor. That's the word. Again, in life today, I just came back from a trip to Adebisi. One person that is beginning to shape my view.
Again,
one person that is beginning to shape my view of the world is Ariafe Babalola. We spent about an hour in his company on Saturday, this last Saturday, at Adebisi. Baba is 96, doesn't wear glasses, works unaided. His voice is more sharper than my own. You know, I'd known that man since I was a secondary student at Ibadan. The man started the university at age 78. Ladies and gentlemen, he was 78 years of age in 2008 when he started Afebalo University. Easily the best private university in Nigeria today. Most people who are 70 will think their own is finished. So I begin to look at somebody like that as a role model. Within my profession, somebody I admire very much as a role model is Prince Julie Pharmacy. He's the leader in my profession of pharmacy. Is that okay? It's a challenge in the sense that some of these positions come to you when you least expect them. It's not something you contest for. It's an appointed position. I was appointed and I got the information like 2 weeks before I was going to assume the role. However, Lions Club International is a wonderful training ground for anybody that gets to the top, gets to be in that position, because you are trained, especially when you make yourself available, you are trained regularly. So I believe that I've had the background. Then I've been council chair. As council chairman, you are in charge of all the districts in Nigeria. But now as area as a GHR leader, my territory now includes 0418 of Ghana. Not much in the sense the fact that culturally we are dealing in a different another environment. So by and large, the essence of teamwork becomes more important. We are on the cusp of change in LCI, in Lions Club International, in the sense that we want to grow very fast. We have mission 1.5, which is to make sure that we have 1.5 million members worldwide by July 1st, 2027. So by and large, that is what everybody is looking at. In my position, I need to coordinate 7 district governors that are working with me. I have to make sure that all of us are on the same page, communicate information as they come, make sure that things get done. Again, it's not the district governors alone. There are the DG teams, the vice governors, first and second vice governors. I still have to work with them too. So by and large, it's a tough call. However, you need to be a team player. Keep an open door. Be ready to help and be ready to coach, because people look up to you for so many things, So by and large, I'm here to free. It's a 3-year tenure. I'm just on the first year. The first year will end 30th of June. We have been told to reapply to complete the form for the appointment, which will come from 1st of July. So by and large, it's a tough call, but the focus must be on teamwork, growth, training, bearing in mind that we have a target of 1.5 million members by 1st of July 2027. All our clubs must add members. All our districts must form new clubs. Even myself, I must form a new club. And I'm working hard at making my own individual targets. All districts must form new clubs. All clubs must add new members. And then we must produce diversity. We must ask more women and youths to join our organization. Those are the 5 pillars of Mission 1.5. Now, what are the challenges? The challenges can be put in 2 parts. There's the macroeconomic, there's the individual. Macroeconomic in the sense that most of the economies in Africa have economic challenges, and Nigeria is not excluded. Our naira has been devalued by almost 30-40%. This means that the individual lion needs to have more naira to pay club dues. The clubs must find more naira to pay international dues. International dues are paid in US dollars. We are an international organization. Our headquarters is in the US. So the fact that we are looking for more naira to pay dollar imposes a lot of stress on us getting new members. That is the macroeconomic aspect. The individual aspect at club level is getting people to commit to serving. When there are challenges in somebody's life, the person must create primary and secondary in terms of like Maslow hierarchy of needs. You must feed your family, you must feed yourself, you must clothe before you now think of helping an outside person. And in any case, philanthropy is for those who have, giving to those who don't have. So if you don't have to, you can't give what you don't have. So by and large, the challenges of Mission 1.5 is the fact that once there are economic problem, once there are currency devaluation, and it happens in most African countries. In fact, we are better off in Nigeria. In Egypt, there is a virtual ban on the export of foreign exchange, buy of foreign exchange. Shebi, in the past 2-3 weeks, the naira has been gaining strength. Those who are going to be uncomfortable are those who have kept a lot of dollars, hoping to benefit from the high price. But as of today, if you ask Mala, you probably will get $1 for 1,000, 465 or 660. You know, though preaching you talk about 1,250 something, but by and large, as it was being mentioned as 1,150, was scary. Was everybody thought to get to 2,000, but thank God it's coming back gradually. But the challenges are that yes, mobilizing human beings to form new clubs, to bring new members into clubs, in the face of a harsh economy, represents a major challenge. I hope I've answered the question. It's a double-edged sword. My conviction, my own experience is the fact that we must make the clubs interesting to members. We must let members enjoy being lions. Two things. There must be benefits to members. What do you get when you come here? Number one. Number two, we cannot afford to have meetings that are just too long, unending meetings. Many presidents are guilty of this. Once they sit down like this, they forget the fact that a good meeting must end 60 to 90 minutes max. If members want to stay and have fun after, that's their own choice. That's one aspect. Second aspect I mentioned earlier on is the issue of what's the need for me? Member benefits. We must create internal mechanism that lets members get value. Okay, let's assume that you are a Lions Club member and you come. If there's something you are looking for, maybe your junior sister wants admission, wants to do IT or something like that, we must find that internal mechanism to make sure that we help each other a lot more. That's very important. However, we must find ways where Lions must enjoy being Lions. That's key. I hope I've answered the question too. It is a reality, it's a truism. The inflation, the high exchange rate affects how we pay for our international dues, how we pay for LCIF, that's Climate International Foundation. If you want to become a Melvin Jones Fellow, you need to get $1,000 in stages, in bits, or at once. When Naira was 800 Naira to $1, you need 800,000 Naira. When Naira became 1,000 Naira to $1, you need $1 million Naira. Today you need about 1.4 million Naira, 1.5 million Naira. That's a lot of Naira. So everything is affected. However, what are the solutions? There is no one size fits all. Each segment, each district, each club must look at their own environment and see what they can do. One thing I know can work, because it's been tried here and there, is for us to leverage on our members in the diaspora. So look, in my own club, we have about 3-4 members who went to the US through Lions. They have been very supportive. My first vice gives us $500 every year. He pays straight to Obruk, to the LCI headquarters. My second vice gives us $250 every year. He pays straight to Obruk. Two other members paid $100. That is helping. Going forward, I think district governors can now create clubs around diaspora Nigerians who are not members Lions before. You can convince a parent, look, let's form a hybrid club. People in Nigeria, people in US, UK, wherever they are. And they can meet hybrid meetings on Zoom and things like that. The people abroad can help us to pay international dues while we do local dues, and we can still grow Lionism. That's an approach that is being suggested, looking at the response of my club is a large club. We have 60-something members in my club. And we've been like that for a long time. We've leveraged on the support of our members in the diaspora. Also, these governors must find a way of creating what you can call sustainability accounts, which, are we running out of time? Have I touched it again?
Yeah, you touched the same one.
Okay. Okay. Sustainability accounts. This is a controversial one, and I know a lot of leaders will take me up on it. But I've experimented such that at the beginning of a Lions year, a district governor would approach some Lion leaders and say, look, dear leader, in course of the year, especially December and January, clubs are under pressure to drop members. Can you give me a donation? We will not touch it. It can be naira, can be dollar. It's in a separate account. It's like saving for a rainy day. When these drops start coming, clubs have issues, tell them not to worry and help you to support them. It's like soft loan, which is repayable, and I've seen it work. However, like I said, it is people differ, opinions differ on this. But what you see, what you know is what you know. I'm talking from my own experience as a district governor. Even when I finished my time as governor, I was GMT coordinator to a particular district governor. We tried it and it worked. That year, we maintained our numbers. There was no sudden drop. The almighty June, a lot of clubs will drop in June. They are afraid of the bill that will come in July. Same thing in December, bills will come because payment of dues in Lions is done twice a year. The billing comes twice a year. So if you drop members in December, you avoid the bill that will come in January. If you drop in January, it has no effect. If you drop in June, it has no effect. So May, June, they will drop because they don't want to get the bill in July. But like I said earlier on, two things. One is to see how you can use the diaspora. Nigerians are plenty in the diaspora now. And apart from the people in the diaspora who are already Lions, we can now look at people who are not Lions, who can become, who are Nigerians. And you can match them with people who are here and form a hybrid kind of club. That's one aspect. The other aspect I've mentioned is the issue of sustainability account. If they try it, it should not be done when there is crisis. No, it should be done when there is no crisis. It's the money you save when you don't have need for money. Sure, you understand me? It's the money you keep. Look, a district governor takes off 1st of July. That by the time you are done with your presentation in August, September, you now take time. Get a reliable person, a trusted person as chairman, sustainability project. Let him talk to leaders who give freely on their will. These are people who have always given anyhow. They will give freely of their will. It can be naira, it can be dollar, $50, $100 in a separate account. Nobody touches it. Knowing that it is for the rainy day, for the day when country day hard. So, GAT, SCIF, they are like two sides of two wheels of a bicycle. SCIF can drive GAT. GAT can sustain SCIF. SCIF is the funding arm of our association, it's foundation, and gives a lot of grants for projects. In serving our communities, we must use our project as a recruiting tool, and many of our districts and clubs don't do it. I challenged a particular project. I'm wearing a new Versus shirt. This shirt is for female members. You understand my point? They had a project recently. They were giving pads, sanitary pads, to pupils in secondary schools who otherwise will not be able to afford pads. If God has blessed you to be comfortable, you live in Ikeja, you live in the GRA, you won't be able to imagine that some people will not be able to afford sanitary pad. But it's true. That's it. It's true. So by and large, what I think we Lions don't do, which we need to do more, which will allow GAT to drive, our SIF to drive GAT, is that we don't use our projects, our community service project, as recruiting grant. We need to do more of it. We need to focus more and say, look, if for instance, you are donating chairs and tables to a local secondary school. There's nothing wrong in inviting non-lions to come and be guests. When they see what you are doing, some of them will be impressed, inspired to come and join you, to want to come and contribute. And you'll be surprised that really what is important, getting one person, getting a key person is as important as getting a club. The other person can form a club. That's one thing. How can GAT help LCIF? GAT, I told you earlier on, has 3 planks now. That's my own responsibility. Membership, leadership, and service. I've mentioned that service is an area where LCI, because they provide the money, can help membership. However, when membership grows, the pool of drawing money for donation to LCI also increases. It's a logical kind of thing like that. When we get more members, we draw people who can say, yes, I became a Mervyn Jones Fellow in 2006. That means I paid $1,000. I became a Progressive Mervyn Jones Fellow 2022. I paid another $1,000. There are people who, even when you mention it to them, especially the diaspora, they'll do $500 twice and it's done. So by and large, like I said earlier on, the LCIF and the GAT are like 2 wheels of a bicycle, and they should be mutually reinforcing. That's what I think. Don't write this one down. It's true. There's a bit of politician in all of us. I'm much older than Tolu, for instance, and his peers. And I've been in the system before them. I want to choose my words very carefully because I can be quoted. And I'm there. Easy to people to throw things at you, so you have to be careful. I have a lot of admiration for the gentleman we're talking about. Respectful, nice guy. In fact, the first time I saw him, you can record this. The first time I saw him was the ALLI Adogere. ALLI is Advanced Lions Leadership Institute. He attended that institute at Adogere that year. I was on the faculty. I was among those who lectured them. And I remember that during the celebration night, when you have institute as a night, the last night or so, you have like a party, everybody's feeling relaxed, and you are done and everything. He brought a large body of drinks. Me, when I see good drinks, I enjoy them. You know, I'm not, I like fine brandy, fine whiskey, you know, and when I'm not drinking beer, I take to those ones. Fortunately, we are in Ramadan, we can do alcohol, food. So he brought a lot of them, and I said, who is this young man? And over time, I got to see him. Now, according to about, I've seen him, we've been close. There's no reason why we will not be close. If he's vice governor, he will have things to do with me from time to time. We attended meetings, I've called him to events, he has come. I've had him to help us mobilize his district, which is for P2. Don't forget that I happen to be the last district governor for 4B before the bifurcation. I know people in the 2 districts. I've been like always there, though older now, you know. So what are my expectations for his tenure? He will do well, and it's also a time for us to test and see the youth perform. They won under the platform of not too young to run or to serve. NTs and something they call it. You're not young to serve. That's the platform that they run on. So he's representing his generation. So it's got to be consulting, collaborating. He must emphasize teamwork, but he must also leverage on the wisdom and experience of the older members. he must bend down to talk to the past district governors. I don't want to make any political statement. You understand my point? Especially where districts are concerned. People are very sensitive about it. I believe he will be a good district governor. Money shows the day. He has been well prepared for the job. He has been well trained. We trained him well. I can say we've trained him because I participated in faculties where he has been trained. By and large, he will inherit challenges of those who are serving now, of those who served before him. A difficult economy. I hope his business is well prepared for the shocks because he won't be around. He just won't be around. The job of this governor is a full-time position and there's no salary. So you understand? There's no salary there. You put your money. You know. So you said I should talk in the present. It's difficult in the sense that if he has been there for 3 months, we could look at his membership and look at the project here. But we can close our eyes and Kafuju Nuwu. Say, never smiling. He just has to consult. My fear, let me say this now, is that there is a big weight of expectation on Tolu Sebanjo's shoulders. There's a big weight of expectation on his shoulders. Everybody believes he will do very well. That's a dangerous one. Because why? People like Obasanjo succeeded because people always underestimate them. It's not to be underestimated. When there's a lot of hype about your performance, you need to work double hard to meet those expectations. That's my fear. For me, he knows that my doors are open for him. And for him, I'm on 24 call. In any case, we are cooperating on so many things even now with him. But a small voice inside me tells him that he on his own must temper the expectation that people have of him. He's not a magician. Nobody can play magic in this 4B2. I know that district well. There are challenges there. Where there are challenges, there are also big opportunities. We expect that district to bifurcate. Maybe not during his tenure. I doubt if he'll be able to do it, but maybe after. And let me see who is succeeding him. Okay, let's go there. You understand my point? So, let's go there. So, he will do well. He will not do worse than the person who was there. He will do better. I'm very sure about that one. However, whether it will meet the expectations, it's like you come back from school, got 75%, you are third person in your position in your class. Then you say, your mother will say, those old mothers will say, what the person who came first? He gets wet. Why you don't come first? But you thought you have done well. 75% is A now. But old mother will say, why can't you take first? In fact, you might even get flogged. That's the kind of thing that I feel, that's fear I have for him. But I believe he'll do well. He cannot do worse than the person who's the incumbent. Hey, people go get into trouble.